So I'm just on the way home and had some thoughts and just wanted to put them on record. It's coming up on our presidential year, and everybody talks about the next presidential candidate and who wants to challenge the current incumbent, Donald Trump, and what they have to offer, what they have to say. So I just like to think empirically. I like to think, what have past presidents done? And it was the best. So here's my opinion. Now, I'm not a historian, but I love history. I'm not an economist, but I love economy. I'm a businessman, but I hate business. So anyway, where do we go with this? I don't know. Constitutional presidents. Well, obviously there's James Madison, but he wrote the Constitution, so of course he was a good constitutional president. Had a lot of insecurities and misgivings. Brilliant man, though. His mentor, Thomas Jefferson, not so much. But then again, the Constitution was kind of just then being felt out. It was a brand new concept in the world, and mankind, really, so. But he meant well, I think. Andrew Jackson couldn't be a worse constitutional president. But we have a lot to thank him for. He accomplished a lot. He was in pain for most of his presidency, most of his life, actually. He was sick and a lot of excruciating pain from a duel over a political argument that he had in a bar early in life. So, felt bad for him as a person, the stuff that he went through. And then he pushed through and it helped him strengthen his character and become a better person. But that's Andrew Jackson, and that's another story. The best economic president. I don't, of course, there's many different variety of opinions on this. And without political bias whatsoever, right? I couldn't care less about political bias. I think, in my mind, without a doubt, would it be Warren G. Harding. And that sounds crazy, but in terms of economics, there was no one that was handed a worse economic system than Warren G. Harding. He was handed an all-out depression caused by the inception of both the income tax and the Federal Reserve System. And government involvement and regulation of our individual lives kicking into full gear during the Wilson administration. Also, having been just recently out of World War I and having lost so many men in World War I, a lot of the soldiers coming home unskilled, inept, indigent, many different issues with the soldiers coming home from World War I. What a big strain on the economy, and I don't think any historian would disagree with me on that. So Warren G. Harding comes into office, very well-known man, very unhealthy, and just against the grain. It was to the point where everyone was either a Teddy Roosevelt Republican or a Woodrow Wilson Democrat. There was no in between. And then Teddy Roosevelt split the party, so all that was left was a splintered Republican Party that allowed Woodrow Wilson to wreak havoc on the nation in ways that we're still suffering from today. And we went into this deep economic depression in the early 20s of the early 20th century. The best thing that Warren Harding could have ever done as president was exactly what he did do as president. Absolutely done. He vetoed and restrained Congress from sticking their noses in regulation, in stimulation in everything that they wanted to do. And what resulted from it was a massive drop in unemployment across the board. During the Jim Crow South, the racist, most segregated part of our nation's history, in the 20th centuries at least, early 20s, the blacks dropped, their unemployment rates dropped so considerable that many of the Democrats and the Jim Crow, the Dixiecrats, were concerned and had to pass local laws against, convicted felons working in certain aspects of government, contracting government. They changed a lot of laws just to keep black people out of the workforce because their unemployment numbers were so low. And caused a lot of resentment in the South. Particularly people in the North that didn't have it good because they weren't allowed to have really any skills or any education, not like the whites were. But I see that they made big headways in the early 20s toward building a foundation for what could have been the great civil rights movement that we eventually had in the 60s. Unfortunately, the political party that gained power within the decade, within 10 years of this point, was very racist, steeped in racism, The KKK was their base. They built terrorist organizations to stamp out Jews and blacks. They elected as their running mate for Franklin Roosevelt, member of the KKK, and their money was brought in by the aristocrats in the South, and that became a big problem in the civil rights movement, and it pretty much threw water on the fire. I don't know that this part is my conjecture. I don't know that there's any empirical base for this, but I feel like that it was not very long after. Well, I know that it was not. We all know that it was not very long after the blacks started flipping parties and voting for Democrats overwhelmingly. And this is a quandary because, the Democrats were the party of segregation. The Democrats were the party of the KKK. The Democrats were the party of the Jim Crow South. The Dixiecrats were the most racist members of all the government. So why would the blacks vote Democrat? Why? Why did the blacks switch from Republican to Democrat? The Republican Party was developed in the 1860s as the 50s really, as an abolitionist party and slavery, and they did exactly that. They passed the 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment. These were amendments to desegregate the population and allow blacks to be counted and to be able to vote and to be able to serve in Congress, and they did as Republicans. So why would they leave that party and move to the Democrats? And I don't know that there's any other answer but economic. The economics of a microeconomic system like the individual or community level economics, family level economics, fraternity level, municipal level of economics. These are all very much motivated by local enterprise, by small business, by the workload in the working class, what would be considered the working class, but I don't consider them classes. The opportunity for production, for productivity, for progress, for advancement in the workplace, in individual, and they couldn't get there. They just couldn't get there. The blacks couldn't. They were being held down by government systems. Systems that had given them their own bathroom, their own drinking fountains, their own place at the back of the bus. These were government bureaucracies that did this. And they couldn't go any higher. They couldn't participate in the free market system as a faction of enterprise. And they were being discriminated against because of their race. So as a result, they had no choice but to survive, which is, mankind's first primary instinct is survival. Their only choice was to survive in a level of, I think, in desperation, in the early depression, for food, for sustenance, for a place to live. I mean, we would all do the same thing. And the only person who had anything to offer at that time was the federal government. The states were broke, the cities were broke. Nobody had any money. There was no jobs to be had, no new jobs. 1 out of 4 individuals in this country, and I say individuals, 1 out of 4 men in this country, women weren't particularly in the workforce yet at that point. So 1 out of 4 households was, unemployed, without an income. So it's a horrible, scary time. And it wasn't that the government was the answer. They just were the only ones that had any brain. I guess if you look back during Joseph's time, when the Pharaoh had him imprisoned and under trumped up, false pretense, false charges, and Pharaoh had a disturbing dream. In the Bible times, the Old Testament, and Joseph interpreted that dream and said there would be 7 years of plenty, and then there would be 7 years of famine, and that they should stock up during the 7 years of plenty and with food and grain and as a nation, and prepare for the 7 years of plenty, famine. And they did exactly that. So much so that the nations of the world, of the known world at the time, traveled hundreds, maybe thousands of miles to buy and trade with them during the years of famine, because they had stockpile of sustenance and grain, and people were willing to give any amount of money for this, for the money, for the food. And I see that as a really good indicator in the 1930s of what a lot of people were going through. Now, many white people, I say white people, I mean there's a lot of white people who were destitute too, but the whites were not particularly segregated into communities or classes or ethnicities necessarily, because they were white and they weren't discriminated on based on their skin. They were only discriminated on by whatever income they had, where they lived, or who they were. But they weren't discriminated on ethnically anyway, by what they looked like. But opportunism was open and was available to everybody at that time, as long as you knew the right people. So as evil as the government may have been, they were the only ones that had the gold. They were the ones that had the gold, which got the grain. In a time of famine, and literal famine too, because this is right after the Dust Bowl. In a time of famine, the man with the food is king, regardless of whether he's a good king or not. And that's my take on the Roosevelt administration. But that being said, Warren Harding presided over, or was handed, a horrible depression. Some think it was brought about by the inception of the Federal Reserve and, of course, the income tax and the 16th Amendment, which may or may not have been legally ratified, but it's too late to argue that now. So, for the federal government, across the board, but especially the president. Let's say he is the archetype of the federal government, and so let's speak of the president himself. The president, being the executive officer of the federal government in general, has as much to do with the growth of the economy as a chainsaw operator has over the growth of a fruit tree. You found people like Woodrow Wilson who showed up in the orchard ready to pick the fruit, armed with a chainsaw. And that's essentially what he did. We can get more fruit if we just cut the trees down. And he was right. He was right. You sure can. You can get more low. If you cut the tree down, all the fruit's low hanging. And so he did. So the only reason most people don't know about the Great Depression of the early 20s was because it was the Great Depression of the early 20s. It was followed by the Roaring 20s, a time of great medical advancement, technological advancement, of innovation, of Henry Ford, of Thomas Edison, of great, of Andy Warhol and the arts and so many. Hollywood became big, television and the silver screen became a major part of every community. And you know what? The world changed, the nation changed. The world technically changed, but particularly the nation of the United States changed drastically in the 20s. It grew, prospered, and developed into something that was unrecognizable even after the great industry boom of the late 19th century. So it changed, and that's what Warren G. Harding brought about. Now, unfortunately, he passed away, and unfortunately, I don't know who I'm quoting here, and I'm not quoting it exactly, but I heard it once and I thought it was a phenomenal concept. Incidentally, that's my favorite word, phenomenal. So, in terms of who you want to run your government, the man who seeks that power and that office most ardently is likely the least desirable pick for that office. The man who wants to be president the most is the one you want least in that position. You don't want somebody who's power hungry or wealth hungry or notoriety hungry. You don't want them to be in a seat of power or wealth or notoriety. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's a law just like gravity, and it never, ever has it been violated. And so fortunately, men like Warren G. Harding was wise enough to make the selection of his vice president because of the condition of the nation. We pretty much had a shoe-in for the presidency. After Woodrow Wilson screwed everything up, he was handed the opportunity to select his running mate based on his qualifications and abilities or his political posture. And I don't think since the inception of the running mate system, when we did away with the first runner-up vice president concept back at the beginning of the nation, I don't think anyone has been afforded that opportunity. Men like Spyro Agnew and even men like Lyndon B. Johnson, particularly Lyndon B. Johnson or Arias Truman, were selected as a running mate for Joe Biden. I don't think you could say anybody wasn't. Every running mate was selected for that purpose. So, but Calvin Coolidge was selected for his abilities precisely because he didn't give up. And consequently, Calvin Coolidge brought us the greatest, one of the most developmental periods in the earliest century. Coming out of nearly a 12, maybe 11-month depression that was deeper and more hard-hitting than the depression that hit little more than a decade later. Now I say a little more than a decade later because the Great Depression was brought about in historical record by the crashing of Wall Street, of the stock market. But see, the stock market wasn't really that significant in our economy. We're saying 89% of the American people or households in America were agricultural. The stock market was not, the stock market does have an effect. It did have an effect on agriculture in some respect. Prices of grain and foreign trading and all that, but the speculation of commodities. But the point is that the stock market could have crashed and the American people would still be alive. The banks that failed not because they were invested in the stock market, but because the government willed them so. The biggest competition to the big banks was the small banks. And when the big banks lose, they have to get the small banks out of the way. That's exactly what they did. Big banks didn't fail in the Great Depression. It was the small banks that failed. There was no one to prop them up, nor should there. But there was a great propping up of the big banks. And such as always been political regulation of the banking industry. So here we are, the United States of America, just coming out of the roaring 20s. The stock market and New York Stock Exchange in particular, Wall Street had grown overnight to become a major factor. It's almost literally overnight. It had been carried on the shoulders of men like J.P. Morgan and Henry Ford and many others throughout the 20s to become a major factor in the economic growth of our nation. And boom, it crashes. We found its weakness. Now, the first depression was caused by the gold standard. Having been a gold standard, there were more goods and services available in respect to innovation. There were more goods and services on the market than there was gold to purchase them. And so the value of them, there became a depression or a devaluation or invaluation of the dollar, devaluation of goods and services, which created the first depression. The second depression was caused largely by government involvement, which had the same effect. Rationing, regulating, printing of money. We were still the gold standard, but there's more than one way to print money, which is what we face in the 21st century, and it's never mentioned as such. We print money every day. We print cryptocurrency, which, and I don't mean literal Bitcoin, I'm talking about actual liquidity. And you borrow against tomorrow's income, tomorrow's real asset to pay today's bills. It's the same thing. It's inflationary, just like anything else. So, when there is a depression, and there's not enough money to pay for all the goods and services and labor that's out there, that's what brings you into a Great Depression. It's deflationary. Not inflationary, but deflationary. So when the government comes in, they counteract it. And they push inflation to counter the deflation. But inflation is not the answer to deflation. Expansion is the answer to deflation. And what I mean by that is very simple. If your home is worth $120,000 and it drops in value to $100,000 because of the market, that's considered a targeted deflation, at least in respect to the real value of your home. But you could bring it back up to $120,000 by, I don't know, putting new floors in, painting it, maybe putting a new roof on it, maybe building a barn out there. I don't know. Maybe they build a strip mall down the road and you end up with something of a better location, and that improves the value. But you don't necessarily have to wait for the market itself to improve. Politicians don't see it that way. So instead of improving the actual value, they reduce the inventory of goods and services in hopes of increasing the actual value or the virtual value. And this in turns, but this doesn't give any room for investment. So the people who have the cash don't investment across the board. This created the long expansion of a 10 or some might say a 13 to 15 year depression, simply because the government got involved. This tree's not producing enough fruit. It's got too many limbs. So let's cut all the limbs off, but 3. And maybe those 3 will produce more fruit. Makes no sense. This dealership's not selling enough cars. We have 10 salesmen and we're selling 10 cars a month. So if we add 10 more salesmen, we'll be selling 20 cars a month, right? Maybe this is the logic of a politician. If the market doesn't sell, the market doesn't sell. And that, I think, is what brought about the Great Depression. That's what brought about the Great Depression. The Great Recession of 2009. It's brought about the Great Recession of the TARP. It was given by George W. Bush and then doubled by stimulus packages brought in by Barack Obama. It led us 8 solid years of slow and stagnating growth in the economy and the GDP. Why? Because we went to work on the fruit trees with a chainsaw. So we ended up in 2016 with a president that had the temperament of Andrew Jackson, the intelligence of Jimmy Carter, and the moral character of John F. Kennedy. But fortunately, the economic and business sense of Warren G. Harding. Now, I thought in 2016 when he was elected that it was just going to be another Herbert Hoover all over again. A lot of people in the country just wanted him to fail because they're Democrats against Republicans. And just hate him. I mean, it's a lot of people that hate Trump, and I don't even know why. I don't think they know why. But I was soundly surprised to see him greatest improvement in prosperous economic presidential term across the board of all the presidents. No president has enjoyed continual economic growth as much as Donald Trump. None of them. No. I mean, some of them had a year, some had 2 years, and then a little bit fall off. Some had a little dip at the beginning, and then some improvement, like George W. Bush. But not Trump, man. From the day he took off, from the day he was elected to this day, the economy has been growing exponentially. And so this is going to be interesting to watch the 2020 election if he's defeated. And maybe I'll go back and look at this and laugh about it, but if he's defeated in the 2020 election, dude, it's George W. Bush all over again. Not because he's anything like George W. Bush, but how can a president lose economic prosperity? 2006, he lost both houses of Congress to the Democrats. How? Well, we all know the Iraq War, but the point is, it was his to lose, and he lost it. You can't blame the media. The media has always been there. I mean, the Boston Whig, spoke out, the Boston Tory, was a newspaper in Boston that spoke out against the Patriots during the Revolutionary War. But there's always been political bias in media. You can't blame the media. People don't trust the media, and if they do, they don't trust themselves. So skepticism is just a part of the American people. But the vast majority of the American voter voting electorate have a legitimate reason they choose someone. Why they chose Donald Trump was a mystery to most who really don't have their finger on the pulse of American people. It's not a mystery to me or anybody who knows. Not that I'm in the know, I just think it's obvious to anybody who cares to look. So misgivings in the 2020 election. I hope he plays off the Hoover-like tactics now with the tariffs and the trade wars, and he goes back to the Warren Harding days where he continues to ease taxes, ease tax regulation. And I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he does. It's not his job to grow the economy. I don't think that the president has done anything to help the economy grow other than stand back and let it happen, which is what Warren Harding did. Stand back, let it happen. It's not your business to make it grow. It's your business to feed it and to fertilize it and to water it, and leave it alone. I got this. Municipal and community and social society on microeconomic factions of this nation will make this thing happen. We got this in hand. We know how to do it. That's the point of a free market. We've got it. We've proved that to everybody, to every historian who cares to look. We've proved that we can make it happen. In the most dire of circumstances, we can make it freaking happen. So let it happen. We don't need the government to tell us anything. Particularly somebody like him. I love the guy. He's a great guy if he knew his place and he understood economics, which he does not. But Bernie Sanders, supports a planned economy, a government planned economy. That should disqualify. It doesn't disqualify for me. I don't care if he's the best person in the world. I mean, Jimmy Carter was a great guy. Didn't make him a good president. So that's my issue with Bernie Sanders. He supports a planned economy. And before you vote for Bernie Sanders, if you do, I don't have anything against anyone in particular that supports somebody politically, because that's kind of our right as a democratic society. Liberal democracy has to have that. So So, well, all I'd like to say is that before you do, inform yourself. Read the book, A Road to Serfdom by Friedrich von Hayek, and maybe even Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. Those are two good books. You can get on Amazon Audible, listen to them in your car. Just read them before you vote for Bernie Sanders. And then, if after you've read those two books,